Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's Mary Jane. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please like the video. It'd be greatly appreciated. Please share the video. It'd be greatly appreciated as well. My peeps, my peoples. Thanks. Anyways, let's get into it. Southern Charm, Season 4, Episode 7. Let's go. So anyways, we start off with Kathryn. She goes to meet up with TJ and Elizabeth, basically. And Elizabeth is godmother to one of the children, basically, and maybe both of them. So anyways, basically, she goes to visit them to tell them that, about Jennifer, basically. She tells them, but first, Elizabeth or TJ says that, how come you didn't show up to the sip and see at Jennifer's house? Well, Kathryn says, I wasn't invited, basically. She invited Thomas and did invite me, basically. But I thought that, like, 2 episodes ago, Kathryn, you told Jennifer that you didn't want a friendship or relationship with her, period, point blank. But anyways, Kathryn tells TJ and Elizabeth that, Jennifer slept with Thomas while she was pregnant, basically. And Elizabeth was like, huh? TJ's like, okay. So basically, Kathryn is sitting there saying that Jennifer slept with Thomas while she was pregnant, basically. So, okay, that's kind of weird. And basically, Kathryn says she's such a weirdo. How do you fucking, like, how do you handle that, basically? And so TJ says, basically, people that are mutual friends with you, Kathryn, and with Thomas really don't know who they should invite to an event because they don't want anything to go wrong at their event, basically, because no one really knows what kind of page that you guys are on. Basically, you guys are like firecrackers. You go up and you go down, basically. So it is what it is, basically, Kathryn. So Kathryn says, I haven't talked to Thomas in almost 9 months, but he left me a text message, and I don't know if I should reply because maybe, he wants something from me, or he's playing some type of games, or he has a ulterior motive, basically. So TJ says, I've known Thomas for years, and he's such a good guy. I've known Kathryn for a few years, but basically in their relationship, it's just like up and down. They fight amongst each other, and they get grimy and dirty with one another, basically. So basically, TJ is just saying, you and Thomas have to come to a basic understanding, basically. Make a checklist. And then Elizabeth says, yes, make a checklist with bullet points, basically, to set goals for your relationship with Thomas, basically, as co-parenting. And then TJ throws a shade and said, make them really small goals, Kathryn, really small, something that you actually can achieve. Don't overstep it. But he didn't say overstep to Kathryn, but he just said make sure they're small, something that's achievable for you. Shade, shade, shade. So anyways, moving forward. And so Kathryn was like, Thomas, I don't know if I'm going to reach out with him because I just don't know his ulterior motive and what does he want, because he always wants something. He always has ulterior motive, basically. So then we get to basically Shep. Shep has not been drinking. It has been 5 days. He has not been drinking at all. Basically, he runs from his house. I'm thinking Shep is going to go exercise. He's running. He's jogging. He turned over a new leaf. He's exercising, basically. But no, Shep runs right to Patricia's house, right where Whitney is sitting at, waiting for him, basically. So it makes sense that when Whitney was walking the dog, he was walking the dog from Shep's house to his house in the last episode. But anyways, Shep sits down with Whitney and says, and so, Whitney says, you look kind of pale, there must have been a lot of exercise for you, basically running and everything. So, Whitney offers Shep some water, and basically Whitney comes back with the water, and he was like, I put some vodka in there for you. And and then Shep goes, oh man. And so basically that shit was funny to me. I was like, Whitney is just too much. And so then basically, Shep informs Whitney that basically he wants them to go hunting, basically, to go hunting, basically, go to this place that's in Georgia. It's called Dorchester. It's in Georgia, basically. They have a lot of cabins. Basically, go there hunting, and basically Shep wants to bring a private group along. It's a private club, basically, and Shep wants to bring some friends along, basically. And so basically the first friends' names that they mention is who else? It's nothing other than Craig and Naomi, basically. So they bring up Naomi. And so Shep is like, I don't know if Craig and Naomi are cool, whatever, because they were fighting at the sip and see, basically. So Whitney says, do you think she's getting tired of his stick? And they both laugh, basically. And Shep said, I would be if I was her, basically. And then Shep says to Whitney that, I don't even go to Craig anymore, ask him how everything's going and what's going on. I go straight to Naomi because she tells me everything, basically. So this is what Craig is talking about, that Naomi's just running her mouth around town, basically. And so Whitney goes, so what did she tell you? Let me know. Whitney wants to know the goods too. So basically Shep doesn't spill the goods. Basically, he just says that, she has to protect him and it's her duty to do that. And so Shep calls him a douchebag or whatever, and so does Whitney, and they both laugh at him. So this is why Craig doesn't want to open up to these people, because they can be very critical towards him, because he kind of deserves it a little bit from what he did last season with the lion and all that bullshit. So anyways, it is what it is. And so they both laugh and everything, and so then it's just like, okay. I'm just like, wow, you guys better leave Craig alone. And Naomi, stop telling him your business. Wait till you see the reunion. You're going to be like, OMG. Wait till you get to the reunion. So basically, it is what it is. And so basically, Craig is tired of Naomi airing out their dirty laundry. So we get to Craig and Naomi. They're at their house. Naomi comes into the house. Basically, Craig is trying to ignore Naomi. And Naomi says, I want to talk to you. I want you to apologize to what you said about me and how you talked to me, calling me a moron, saying, child speak at the sip and see. And Craig says, basically, he doesn't want to talk about it, so he turns his back towards Naomi. Naomi's like, why are you turning your back towards me? I'm not going to put up with this behavior. So Shep is like, so Craig is like, stop airing our dirty laundry out. Stop telling people our business, basically. So it is what it is, basically. And so, basically they talk about, going to see a therapist, basically. So I guess Naomi's going to set up an appointment for her and Craig to go see a therapist, basically. Basically, all they need to do is forgive each other and start brand new and listen to each other's feelings. And Naomi start running her mouth, Craig stop running his mouth, and just be honest with everybody. And then maybe things can get better, basically, and stop bringing outsiders into a relationship, even though some of them do have sound advice, basically. So now you get so now everyone's getting ready to go to Dorchester, basically the private club, to go hunting. So basically you have Whitney, you have Austin, and you have Shep. Basically they're at this boutique, this store, picking out outfits, basically, to go hunting in. Basically they're trying on jackets, snakeskin boots, and all this other good stuff, basically. And so so they were like somewhere expensive, basically buying some clothes or whatever. And so then Craig calls Shep, and Craig is asking Shep, what kind of boots to buy, basically. And so Shep is like, where you at? He was like, Dick's Sporting Goods. And Shep is like, you at Dick's Sporting Goods? So then Shep tells Austin, and Whitney's like, oh, guess where Craig is at? He's at Dick's Sporting Goods, basically throwing a dig at Craig as he's at Dick's Sporting Goods and not at a boutique. And so Shep says, oh, we had something else in mind. We're kind of like at a boutique, baby. And so then basically, Craig asks Shep, is there any snakes, and blah, blah, blah. And so Shep says, yes, there's snakes. Yeah, there's snakes gonna come and get you. There's snakes everywhere. So Shep and, Whitney laugh because it's a dig towards Craig, basically. And so Craig said, you know what? I'm going to get the Shea high boots and not the knee-high boots, basically. So they hang up the phone, basically. And so then, Shep, he starts to question Austin. And Austin falls for a Shep trap. You got to understand, Shep is very smart. He collects information, and he knows how to put things together and use the information to his advantage. And that's what Shep does, because he's a really smart guy. He is not your average run-of-the-mill type of dudes, basically. So it is what it is. And so Shep is asking... Craig is asking Austin questions, basically how him and Austin are doing and all that other good stuff. So it's gonna get good, basically. So Shep asks, Austin, so how is your lady doing, basically? How's everything going with your special lady? And so then Whitney jumps in and says, oh yeah, your special lady, how's everything going? Your mate, basically. And so Austin's like, it's all right, basically. He's not giving too much information because he's still trying to be guarded because he doesn't know where this is going to go. So basically Shep says, oh, I really think you guys are getting cold feet. And then Austin says, maybe. And Austin shouldn't have said that. Austin shouldn't have said anything, basically. And so basically Austin's in his confessional and he goes, everything is going perfect between me and Chelsea. Everything is going great, but I'm kind of worried about telling these guys what's going on, basically. So then basically they talked about who's coming on to the trip. It's going to be JD. It's going to be his wife Elizabeth. It's going to be Cameron. It's going to be Whitney. And basically, you know, Shep says that, you know, Thomas can't come because he has a felony, basically, and Cameron's coming, Naomi, Craig are coming, and so basically, Austin jumps in and says, oh, you must have subconsciously forgot Landon, and then so, Shep says you must have subconsciously remembered Landon, basically. And so basically Shep is asking him how him and Landon are doing, basically basically trying to see what's going on between Austin and Landon, because he believes something's going on between them because they've been kind of flirty like in the this past season basically. And so they both laugh, basically. And so then Whitney goes, what, you got the feelings for Landon? So it's just funny, basically, how they're trying to get information. And then, you know, Shep has a buddy to help him, which is Whitney, because basically they're going to gather all this information and bring it to Cameron and see how they can intervene and mess up Austin and Chelsea's relationship, in my opinion, basically. So Austin, so then basically they say Austin and Landon is a cute couple. Basically, they look good together and all that other good stuff. And Whitney wants to go and then Shep says to Whitney, you want to dress like you're from you're Englishman on the countryside, basically, with all this stuff, because you know, Whitney says he wants to wear a bow tie or a tie to the engagement of the hunting, basically. And then, you know, Shep goes, this is not a catwalk, Whitney. And Whitney says, yes, it is a catwalk. What are you talking about? And so then Shep goes, well, you know, we're gonna be hunting our food, catch what we eat, we're gonna be catching our supper, basically. And Whitney goes, we're gonna be catching Whole Foods, basically. So anyways, that scene was funny, basically, them questioning Austin about his relationship with Chelsea to see what's going on, because Shep is trying to figure out, is things good or things bad, basically, because Shep wants to see if he has a chance with Chelsea, and basically he's a little jealous. And you know, Whitney picks on that Shep is jealous because Shep doesn't really talk about a girl like this, like he is this season, basically. So we get Landon. She meets up with Patricia, basically, and Patricia is trying to guide Landon, give her some advice, basically. And then Patricia, you know, also asked Landon what she's going to be doing. Landon said, hey, I'm going to be going hunting with the guys. And so then, you know, Patricia throws in that, you know, Whitney's been hunting. Well, he was shooting in England for years. He became a great shooter in England, basically. So we see why he wants to dress like an Englishman when he was at the boutique buying his outfits, basically. So kudos to you. So anyway, basically, you know, Landon is talking about, like, she has, you know, feelings of her and Thomas not really working out because Thomas have these issues with Kathryn, these kids, and plus Thomas can't even go hunting because he can't be around guns, and basically, like, he has so many issues. And then you know, Patricia says to Landon that, you know, grown folks have problems. You know that, right? Grown folks have problems. That's what grown-ups do. They have problems. And basically, Landon, you need to find someone that's either your equal or better. What she means, like, educational, experience-wise, and just knowledge-wise, basically. You know, basically. And so Patricia says, you know, I always dated older men because they're more mature and I always been attracted to them. Plus, they're all well established, basically, and they're settled. And basically, Patricia tells Landon that if you really, you got to take risks if you really want something. You just can't just be dormant, basically, because you're afraid to take risks. Basically, Patricia tells, you know, Landon that you're gonna be all quiet and you're gonna be all quiet in your lonely, desperate life. So basically, Patricia is saying that, hey, you don't want to take risks, you don't want to take chances. You're going to be all quiet, alone, and desperation, secretly, basically. So, bitch, get on the ball. And basically, Patricia's also saying to Landon, like, you really should jump on Thomas. Thomas said at the dinner party that he didn't want a prenup. Like, you should really take heed to that. You should really jump on that situation and really take that into heart, that this guy is trusting you that much and that deep that he's not going to have a prenup, basically. And Patricia also says that Thomas is doing a wonderful job as being a father. Like, he really turned a new leaf and turned a new corner in his life, how dedicated he is to his children, basically. And you should appreciate that, Landon, basically. You got to grow up, girl. You're going to be alone, basically. And basically, she's feeling that, you know, Thomas is a good catch for her, basically. So anyways, everyone's getting ready to go hunting, but Naomi's going to be late because she has class first, and then she's going to show up. So basically, you see Chelsea with her shotgun. You see everybody getting their guns together, basically, to go on a trip and all this other good stuff. So then basically, you know, you see why these guys like Chelsea. She hunts, she's crazy, she drinks, she likes to have sex, and she moves forward. So basically, now I'm taking my opinion back and thinking Chelsea should be with Shep because they both are alike. They both just want to fucking bounce and get it when they get it. And basically, Austin's going to have a broken heart. So anyways, so all these guys are ready to go, basically. So you have Whitney, you have Cameron, and you have Shep in the car together. And basically, they're all glad that they're in the car together. But basically, you know, Cameron says, I wish Chelsea was in this car with us. And so then basically, you know, Shep goes, you know, she's really cool with Austin. She's really cool with so basically Cameron says that, but then in the other car, it's who's driving? Chelsea's driving, Austin's in the passenger seat, and in the front passenger seat, and Craig is in the back seat, and Landon is in the back seat as well. So Shep tells the people in his vehicle that he believes that Landon is hot for Austin, and they're basically being buddies. Basically, then Cameron says to Shep that, oh, I thought she was being buddy with Austin. And so basically, you know, Landon and Whitney look at each other like, okay, Shep is starting shit, basically. So then in the other vehicle, you know, they ask Landon, where's Drew at? And basically she says Drew has to work. And basically, you know, Craig calls her playboy, her play toy, and they all laugh and say, oh yeah, her play toy, basically. And Landon, she just laughs, basically, whatever. And she was like, he has to work. So then Shep is telling Whitney and Cameron that she doesn't believe things are going so well with Chelsea and Austin. Basically, he doesn't believe that things are working out between them, basically getting him some hope. And so then Cameron asks Shep, do your penis get all hard when you think about Chelsea being naked? And so Shep says yes. And so then Cameron goes, oh my gosh, so there's hope. Yeah, it's not all over. It has not failed, basically. And so then Shep is like, shut the hell up. Don't even go there, basically. And then Whitney goes, oh, it sounds like Shep is so jealous. His heart is broken. But I think Shep might have a chance back with Chelsea, basically. In this episode, it looks like they might be getting back together or hooking up, because basically Chelsea is an independent woman and she wants to fly her wings. So anyways, so there was like, so Cameron is like, oh, there's hope yet. So basically, Shep, go get your voodoo doll and put it on Chelsea's porch, and then it should exude love. It should emit love, and then hopefully the local detectives don't come to your house, Shep. So anyways, basically Shep calls, Craig calls Shep basically and asks Shep, does he have any extra boots, basically? Because now, Craig forgot all his stuff. He forgot his shirt, his jacket, his pants, his boots. So basically, they stop at Walmart and get some boots and stuff. So why did Craig forget all his shit? I guess Craig was like, you know what, this shit at Dick's Sporting Goods is too expensive, because Dick's Sporting Goods is kind of expensive. Nothing's in there cheap. So Craig is like, fuck this bullshit. And so he forgot everything at home or whatever. Craig is like, he's thinking about his mind is on his money. He's probably never gonna go hunting again, and he ain't gonna be buying this shit. So basically, he goes to Walmart and get his shit. Basically, fuck the bullshit. You dudes got money, not like I do. So anyways, so everyone, they all arrive to the Dorchester, basically, private club. Basically, we get Cameron telling us that she's not going to be going hunting, basically, because the last time she went hunting, the scope backfired and hit her eye, and she has a bruise right above her eye, basically. So she's going to be going fishing. And so Naomi's going to go fishing too when she arrives. And basically, Thomas, he calls Whitney or Craig, basically, and says that he's going to come out they asked him to come out. They was like, come out after we started hunting basically, and join us for supper and for dinner basically, and all that other good stuff. So Thomas is gonna show up. Thomas is gonna show up because Landon's there and he gotta keep an eye on his bitch. So anyways, let's keep moving. And so anyways, they get ready to go hunting and everything. So the place, the cabin, the lodge place is beautiful. It's immaculate. It's a wonderful place to be. It looks like it's gorgeous. So basically everybody gets their bedrooms, but basically, Chelsea and Austin get their own little love shack, their own little cabin basically, which is lovely, and they get to bunk alone. So that was a bad idea, Shep. You should have made sure Chelsea was somewhere near you and not in that room hooking up with Austin. So basically it is what it is. The guys get ready to go hunting. So as Craig, as TJ, it's Craig, Whitney, and Shep, they're hunting on their own basically. And then you have Austin and what is her name, Chelsea, and I think TJ. They go hunting basically. Shep shoots a lot of shit. Craig doesn't shoot anything. He almost shoots the dog. Then basically I didn't see TJ shoot anything, and Whitney tried to shoot but missed. So basically Shep shot the most on his team, and then on the other team, Austin, he shoots the most, and he's actually really good. He's actually taking these quails down, because basically they're hunting quails. I don't know what quail is, and so did Austin say he didn't know what quail is, because he's just a city boy. He he's not a hick, and he don't be out in the country. So basically it is what it is. So basically on a ride up there, Chelsea tells Austin that he should buy a pickup truck, and he should get into hunting, because that turns her on. That makes her all hot inside basically. And so Austin's like, okay. So we know what Chelsea likes. She likes a hit with a pickup truck, and that likes to shoot and can shoot basically. So anyways, Austin, he's shooting his ass off. He's doing actually really well, and he doesn't seem like he's intoxicated. So anyways, Chelsea's loving this. She's loving this, and she, hugging all up on him basically. And that's when Landon takes a picture of them out there shooting. So Landon is also with Austin, Chelsea, and TJ shooting basically. So it is what it is. Or TJ's on, Craig and Shep and Whitney's team. I don't know. So anyways, it is what it is. So then we get to the bullshit. So now, everyone's having appetizer in the main place, basically, Chelsea and Austin, they're in their love shack doing whatever the fuck they're doing. Basically, it's Naomi, it's Craig, and it's Landon, and it's Shep basically. And Shep keeps calling Austin to find out how come they're not coming over for the appetizers. And basically Shep is just saying that, should we eat it all, should we wait basically. And so basically, Shep calls Austin, there's no answer. And then basically, Craig and Landon feel like this is their time to throw shots at throw shots at Shep basically, and say, oh, maybe they're over there doing something busy, maybe they're over there doing something good, maybe they're over there busy, they ain't worried about these appetizers, who knows what they're doing, maybe they're not even worried about us. And then basically Landon shows, oh, look at this picture that I took of Austin and Chelsea out hunting. Look how beautiful they look together. And I was like, oh my god, this can be your engagement photo. And then Landon goes, neither one of them said anything, neither one of them said no, and she's just smiling. And so then Craig is like smiling too as well, like, oh shit. And Shep is getting frustrated, he's getting angry, so he's like, you know what, it's time for a drink. And Craig says, and then Shep says, I'm over with my personal prohibition. And he starts to drink, and he gets fucked up. Because he's jealous basically. And then Naomi asks Landon if Austin and Chelsea are together. And then Landon said, are you kidding me? Yes, they are. Here's some photos, let me show you. And so Shep is like, after his 5 days of sobriety, it's over basically. And so then Shep is just like, he just can't believe that he lost this girl basically. So anyways, so now no, they still don't show up basically. So it is what it is. And so basically everyone goes to the other house where they're all gonna have dinner at. It's a beautiful place, the way the dining is set up, the way the food looks delicious. But I don't eat none of that shit, but it does look delicious. It looks like it's well cooked, well prepared. It looks like it's top notch basically. So everyone's sitting at the table, and Thomas has not arrived yet, but he will. And so TJ hasn't, and his wife Elizabeth haven't arrived yet, but they will. So anyways, while they're sitting at the table, it's Cameron, it's Shep, as Craig, as Naomi, and Landon basically. And then now who walks in? Austin walks in with Chelsea basically. Chelsea looks good in her skirt and her dress basically. And then Shep jumps up out of his chair to go greet Chelsea basically. And was like, oh, where you guys been? What's going on basically? And so then Chelsea immediately says, oh, we had such a wonderful time. Austin, he was killing them ills. He was just shooting and Austin was like, yeah, it was like pow, 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 basically. And Shepard's not happy to hear that. He was hoping that Austin was going to fail, basically, and be a disappointment, because he knows what kind of man that Chelsea likes, because he's been knowing her for a long time, basically. And so it is what it is. And so, basically, they all sit down at the table. And then Cameron asks, Austin and, Chelsea, what's going on? Are you guys in that cabin alone by yourself? Are you guys sleeping in the same bed? And so then they answered yes, we're in the cabin by ourselves. And then Chelsea says it's to be determined whether we sleep in the same bed. And then Shep gets another drink. He's just totally jealous. And then Craig and Landon are laughing under their breath because they love to see Shep suffer right now, because they feel like he disrespected him for a minute and they're glad he's feeling some pain, basically. So it is what it is. And so then Landon starts to show off the photo of Austin, saying Austin is so cute, he has so many dimples, and she's like flirting with Austin, she's tugging onto his shoulder. Basically, Thomas arrives, he's not happy with that bullshit, he doesn't like it. And TJ's there with Elizabeth now, they're just sitting there eating dinner. The quail comes, the quail looks great, I don't eat that type of stuff. So anyways, then so basically it is what it is. Landon's trying to make everybody jealous basically at this point, and plus she's probably been drinking her ass off. And so then Shep is telling Cameron that he believes that Landon and Austin have something going on basically. And so Craig has said, hey, look at them, look how she's flirting on him basically. And so then Cameron goes, see, this is telling me that he's jealous and he really wants Chelsea, but I think that ship has sailed basically. And so anyways, TJ asks Thomas about the custody and the kids basically. Thomas goes, yes, I just reached out to Kathryn, basically trying to make it work. Then Elizabeth jump in and defends Kathryn, like maybe this guy's gonna have to make it work. And then Landon's like, see, I know Kathryn somewhere around, she's always gonna be somewhere huddling, but Landon, you better take Patricia's advice basically. So anyways, and then Cameron goes, you can't believe anything that Elizabeth says, because she's godmother to the children, and basically she's on Kathryn's team. Cameron does not like Kathryn, period, point blank. So anyways, everyone's drinking. Now they go to the other cabin, and Shep is totally drunk. He's fucked up. Everyone's fucked up except for Chelsea and Austin. Chelsea bounces to leave basically, but before that happens, Whitney walks in, and then Shep picks up Whitney, and Shep and Whitney both hit the floor, or just Shep hits the floor basically. So then Chelsea said, let's go. And then Whitney, as they're leaving, said, hey, Austin, don't come too fast basically. And they all start laughing, and Landon is fucked up. Her hair's all wild over the place. Thomas is drunk. They're like having a good time, and they're all fucked up. And then it was like, oh, they're in their love shack. Yep. And then you find out that Chelsea and Austin had sex last night basically, and then they have a conversation, and basically Chelsea just wants them to be friends, not to have a relationship. Basically she just want to hit it and bounce, but come back every now and then. She wants to be friends with benefits. And basically Austin's in puppy love, and Austin feels like, damn, it's usually the girl in the morning that wants more out of a relationship after you have sex, but in this case I'm the loser because I'm the one that wants that basically. So it is what it is. And so anyways, the next episode, next season is going to be good, because Cameron is going to Landon's going to get into it with Chelsea. Landon's going to be in the mix stuff. It's going to be a lot of drama. A lot of shit's going to hit the fan next episode. It's going to be some, and then you got Craig and Naomi going to counseling, and you got, it's going to get wild. So anyways, please like and subscribe. It'll be greatly appreciated. Peace. I'm out.